I'm Julie Broad with Revenue.com and another fantastic real estate investing video tip for you. Today I've got a question from Katie, and Katie writes that she says her question can be simply stated as credit union versus banks. But Katie, I'm going to expand your question and actually probably cover some really important points that maybe you haven't thought of. But Katie's question: I'm about to open my first business account for my real estate business. I was looking into what bank to choose, and I came across a report that credit unions have ranked highest in satisfaction among small business owners in terms of fees, service, flexibility, all well ahead of major banks. And absolutely, credit unions are the place to go when it comes to service. Now, first though, I want to take a step back and talk about your bank account. Now, you said you're opening it for your real estate business. I just wanted to mention, I absolutely encourage you to have one bank account per property versus one bank account for all of your properties. And I'm pretty sure we have another video out there about this, but simply put, it's just an absolute accounting and bookkeeping nightmare to have a bunch of properties running out of one account. It's so much simpler to just have each property have its own account. And for that, you probably do not want to have a business banking account because it's really expensive. The cost of a business banking account versus a personal account is enormous. The other thing to consider is that, as you know, we recommend you always have at least a couple of months of mortgage and tax and property insurance and other expenses built up as a contingency in your bank account. Usually that amount is high enough to reach a threshold where your fees will be waived. So your personal banking accounts, if you have one per property, there's actually not a fee per month for most of them if you maintain a certain threshold of cost. Okay, so that's the business versus personal. Now, we do have a business banking account for our corporation, and we run our corporate expenses through that. But each property we own, we have a personal banking account for each property. Yes, it's a lot of bank accounts and a lot of banks. But this goes now to your question about credit unions versus major banks. And we do have some accounts with credit unions, and we've gotten some mortgages through credit unions, and the service is exceptional. But they're nowhere near the major banks when it comes to technology. So right now, CIBC, I could kiss you. We're depositing our rent checks to CIBC with a click of our iPhone. It's spectacular. Click, and off it goes. The other banks aren't there yet as I'm filming this video, which is unfortunate because Bank of Montreal, we have 20 odd accounts with Bank of Montreal. By the way, we found out that you can only have 10 bank accounts per bank card at Bank of Montreal, which is also a little bit inconvenient. But technology, so email money transfer, some of the credit unions don't even have that capability. Of course, the check by phone deposit, not there. And some of the apps, the mobile apps, a lot of the credit unions don't have mobile apps either. So there's 3 technology reasons why we actually, credit unions prefer the major banks for the most part. And I prefer my tenants to be with the major banks too, because I want them to pay me by email money transfer if at all possible. In most cases, that's how we prefer it. Now, checks, okay, but that's not the way of the future. Checks are going to go away. All right, so hopefully that gives you some things to think about. In terms, her question also asked about perception. I don't even think that's relevant. Very few people are going to worry about where you're banking, especially in Canada. Our bank system, credit union or bank, it's secure and it has a great reputation. So I would look at fees. I would look at whether you need a business account or a personal account's going to do the trick. And those are the questions I would ask. If you have a question like Katie did and you'd like me to answer it, please post it in the YouTube account if that's where you're watching, or sign up for our fantastic revenue newsletter at revenue.com and reply to any of those newsletters, which is what Katie did. And I just might shoot a video to answer your question. See you next time.